Hey guys, it's me again. It's Tanya, and I just wanted to let you know that I'm making another story. It wasn't ever finished fully, and I heard it on YouTube, and I found the actual story on Google. So I decided to finish the whole entire story, because of the last person that was reading the story didn't really finish all the way. And I wanted to let you guys know that I will help you. I will finish this story that the other person didn't get to finish. But I'm gonna still start from the beginning so that you guys can still get to the how from the beginning to the end of the story, till the very end. So hopefully, I'm gonna go through 1 through 4 chapters here, and then this is gonna be only for part 1. Okay, here we go. I was walking through the woods at Hickory Hills Campground. I came here every other weekend due to my parents being divorced. I loved it here. My friends that I had here were the closest people to me. I sent them a text to have them meet me at the bottom to talk about the day and see what we were going to do. As I walked, the wind whipped my face and my hair, which was tied to the side with a white lace ribbon. I let the sound of the leaves sway with the melody that the wind brought soothe me as I walked into the more hidden woodsy area that this campground held. I didn't mind being alone, nor did it scare me. I loved the natural beauty of this world held. I fixed my white sweater that hung over my shoulder and almost covered my shorts, though some may think they were too short. But even when it was spring, I wore the sweater. It was my favorite color, after all. That and the color green. I used to think green was an ugly color, but I grew to adore its down-to-earth quality. Everything was calm and peaceful until I heard a gunshot and a yelp. I tensed up and my brown eyes wandered around the area. There wasn't a single thing in sight, so I decided to go forward. At first, I had absolutely nothing, but then the sight of blood drops on the grass and leads me into view. Me, being an animal lover, worried for the creature, hoping that it wasn't dead. A slight whimper rang in my ears, and my head shot in the direction of the sound. There was a dog limping slowly through the woods, but soon fell to the ground. One thing that was strange was that the animal had a gunshot to the side instead of a leg. So I figured the person had hit the animal first. I ran up to it and grabbed the mini backpack I had on my back. Always prepared for the worst, I pulled out gauze and began to unravel it. The dog turned to face me, and I widened my eyes. I knew this animal even before it knew me. The face was oh so familiar. Smile, I thought to myself. The dog had a huge smile with human teeth drawn across its muzzle. I knew this animal because of a website. Creepypasta was something I would read a lot because it was completely different from the normal. I wanted change, and seeing something like this gave me hope. Something for the better, a wonderful world to unravel. Don't worry, pretty boy. I'll get you fixed up, promise, I said as I began to wrap the gauze and around the stomach area of the animal. Whether it was known as a demon dog or not, I cared for him. No matter what, I didn't believe he deserved it. As I was finishing up, Smile began to growl. Confused, I looked at him and cocked my head to the side. But then I realized he wasn't looking at me. I turned my body and head to the side to see a middle-aged man standing behind me, gun in hand and grin on his face. He put the gun into a holster he had on his back, leather belt, and stood there, smirking at me. I turned my attention back to Smile. It's okay, go home and stay there until you're healed, I whispered to Smile. Smile gave me what seemed to be a caring look. Go, I repeated. Smile slowly got up and turned to walk to the other side of the forest. I followed him till I realized the man was still behind me. Why is a pretty girl like you all alone? He asked, smug-like. Now going on to chapter 2. Also, I forgot to let you guys notice, this is the Innocence Lure, Jeff the Killer love story. Smile! Come here, boy! I screamed. I'd seen it in the woods for a long time now, looking for the dog. I heard a gunshot off in the distance, but considering this place was near a sportsman's shooting range, I didn't pay much attention to it. I had already finished killing a couple that were walking in the woods, and it was kind of a struggle since the guy had a pocket knife with him. But since I am a killer, I'm used to the fighting against strugglers. It's kind of fun too. The rust of panic and fear all mixed together in a blast of homicide, little tangents of my crazy life. I would preach to myself in my head every once in a while, just to prove that I'd lost my sins, my Satan, of course. This is just a point of view that I'm reading right now. Come on, Smile. I want to go, I yelled. Where was the dog? As if to answer my question, I heard a whimper and the sound of something running. I turned to see Smile running, but not as fast as normally would. That's when I noticed he had a bloody gauze wrapped around his stomach. What happened? I asked a little worried. Smile whimpered and turned into the direction he came from. So was that gunshot from someone who shot him? I asked myself. With the thought of that, I got slightly more pissed. It replaying over and over again didn't help my insanity either. Smile nudged his head towards the direction and turned to run that way. I guess I could go for one last kill. I laughed crazily in my head as I began to run after Smile, wondering how this kill was going to go. Since the guy had a gun, I probably had to do a sneak attack. Though I would have him suffer, probably slit his wrist so he would drop the gun. I smirked at the thought that the man had no idea what he was in for. Smile ducked and dodged through the trees until finally he came to a halt. I stopped too and started hearing a male and female voice. I peeked from behind a tree and saw a girl get slammed into a tree by the man. She screamed in pain as her head collided with the trunk. She slid down and onto her knees on the grass. Where you belong, he spat with a grin. I noticed her hands fumble around until they came to a branch. She quickly picked it up and swung at him, which hit him in the side. Bitch, he screamed. He didn't give him enough time to hit back. She didn't give him enough time to hit back and swung at him again. This time he got hit in the nuts. Ouch, I said to myself, thinking of the pain. The man fell to the ground in pain. As she stood over him, she hit him 4 more times on the side. Leave me alone, she begged. The guy recovered and grabbed her legs, yanking her to the ground. Her head slammed into the dirt. She yelped. I heard another whimper from Smile, and I turned to look at him. He nudged a black-pink leather bag that laid on the ground. He nudged it again, and goose came out of it. Sorry for the noise, guys. I'm outside, so yeah. Okay, so continuing. She's the one that fixed him up. Smile nodded his head towards the scene, which I began watching again. The man was now on top of her, messing with her shorts button. So the dumbass is planning on raping her. This will be fun. "Get off," she said while trying to wiggle out of under his weight. The man chuckled as he finally got them unbuttoned. "No one can hear you," he laughed. I had about enough of this. I could honestly care less about the girl's emotions, but Smile wouldn't stop giving me a glare. I honestly think that it would be much fun to let her think I saved her. After all, she's struggled this far. But I might as well cut this idiot's fun short. I snickered as I pulled out the bloody knife from my jacket pocket. It's go time. Okay, continuing to chapter 3. No fear. Okay, but guys, I just came back inside so you don't have to hear the rain outside. I'm so sorry if you guys been hearing all the crazy noises. Okay, here we go. I struggled under the man's weight. I didn't want to get raped. I didn't want to be scared like this. Where are they? I sent them a text. They should be here. As I thought these things, the man suddenly stopped from unzipping my shorts. I looked at his eyes, and the light they once held slowly faded away. Before he was fully dead, he coughed and fell to the side, my eyes not leaving his body with every move he or I made. I sat up and studied his body. Blood was completely covering his back, and I realized that there were stab wounds. I froze and realized something. I had written about something like this happening in a journal. I wrote stories in, hoping that my savior was the one I was wanted to be real. I slowly turned my body and came face to face with dark-rimmed eyes that stared at me. His face as white as my sweater, and his hair as black as night. His lips the darkest red like a bloody rose. I reached to touch his face, and he tensed, but I continued anyway. As soon as my hand touched his skin, I felt a leathery feel. I smiled and began to trace my fingers across his cheek, and soon to his carved smile. He's quiet all until now. "I'm not a toy," he growled. He hesitated for a second, and I looked into his black orbs. I don't look at you like a toy," I said calmly. He seemed a bit taken aback by the comment, but stayed tense. However, his normal mood kicked in, and he tackled me back to the ground, his knife to my throat. "I could slit your throat right now," he snickered. I widened my eyes and thought. "Before you do, can I say something?" I asked. He raised what would be an eyebrow and gave me a puzzling look. "I just wanted to say that you didn't deserve what Randy did to you. In fact, you didn't deserve what any of him and his idiot friends did to you. Someone should have helped defended you." "I would have," I let out. He widened his already wide eyes and put the knife deeper into my neck. I knew fully well that blood was and probably is trickling down my neck. He kept one hand on my arm while he was over me. Seriousness, insanity, and something else danced in his eyes. One thing is for sure, is that he didn't know what to make of what I had said. What he began to say, but was stopped short by a growl. He turned to face it, but I didn't. Knowing I could possibly slit my own throat if I moved, I did look with my eyes and saw Smile hunched over and growling at Jeff. "Smile?" he asked, confused. Smile's reply was a simple growl and lunged at him. Smile knocked him off me, causing the knife to fall to the ground. Rubbing the warm blood off my neck and collarbone, I sat up and once more and saw Smile return in front of me. Smile growled, and got in a defensive position, his eyes shooting at Jeff. I looked to Smile back to Jeff. I looked to Smile and back to Jeff, surprised. But when I looked at Jeff, his eyes were on me, and Our gazes locked. Okay guys, here we go to the 4th chapter for part 1. Big difference, big change. And so, here we go. The girl had curly, brown hair that was pulled to the side by a white lace ribbon that matched her white sweater. Her shorts were to her thighs and bunched up because of the man's attempt. Her cheeks were naturally rosy, that went with the so-called peaches and cream natural look. Her dark brown eyes glinted from the reflection of the sun. To be honest, she was gorgeous. What confused me, though, was that she didn't flinch when our eyes met, nor did they when she touched my cheeks. It's like she accepted it, but she was just another person who was a waste of space and wasn't worth much. With the mention of Randy's name earlier, I grew angry. Memories floated back and I lost control. Maybe she was a liar just like Mother. Mom was pretty too, but yet she lied. Guess this one's just another one. But Smile got in the way. This girl was gonna be another kill. I was on a roll. Smile, stop now, I demanded. Smile disobeyed me, though. The girl looked at Smile and then back at me once more. Shock still on her face. Her innocent look I loved for 2 reasons. 1, because it seemed to fit her, and 2, because it made her the best victim. I slowly got up and came forward and smiled, growled even louder. I frowned as much as I could with my beautiful smile I had etched into my cheeks. She got up also and stood to face me from behind. Smile. Something in me wanted to kill her, and something told me not to. Cinderman's point of view. Well, this is unexpected, I muttered as I watched the teenage girl get up and face Jeff. What is? A familiar male voice said from behind me. I turned to face Ben, who was walking up, confused on his face. Have a look, I said, folding my arms. Ben turned his head to the scene in the woods. He widened his red eyes and turned to face me. Is Smile challenging his own master? Over a human? He asked, dumbfounded. I nodded my head and noticed that Jeff put his knife back into his pocket and showed his bare hands to Smile. Smile backed away curiously as Jeff came closer to the girl, inspecting her. I think Jeff is completely gone. Ben laughed. I get a different feeling from her. Something unknown, I said, semi-thinking to myself. Who do you care? Why do you care? Jeff asked, confused. The way he said if you said it, you could tell he was somewhat angry. Because I do. Or because I do, she replied sweetly. Jeff loves the innocent ones. He loves how well they give into death. Wait, who's that dude? Ben said, pointing to the body of the man. Well, Jeff here saved her from I began. Ariel! People screamed. Ben, Jeff, the girl who must be Ariel, and I turned to face a group of teenage kids who came running towards us. Ariel's eyes fell upon Ben and I with surprise. Then to the people who she must be friends with. One looked at her and noticed the blood on her neck, and then glared at us. Another one of them pulled out a knife, and the rest stood defensively. I strode over to Jeff and the girl, as did Ben. Get away from her, a blonde-haired boy said through gritted teeth. We all crowded around her, and Smile Dog growled at them. Just leave her, Ben said. We began to back away as we eyed the teens who returned the look. There was a girl with brown hair and brown eyes and a tanner complexion than Ariel's. Another was a short male with blue eyes and blonde hair, which was the one who held the pocket knife. The other female was a blonde-headed one with blue-green eyes, and she stared down at Jeff with hate. We began to leave when Smile growled at us and stuck next to Ariel. "Guys, wait!" Ariel fought. They gave her a look of stupidity and surprise. "Ariel, they'll hurt you! They already have!" one argued. "Smile, come here now!" Jeff demanded. Smile just growled and stayed put. We looked to each other and came closer to her. The teens responded too violently and began coming towards us. Wait, what? Ariel started, but was cut off by me wrapping a tentacle around her and bringing her to me. "Get off her!" The brown-eyed boy screamed and ran after us, but we had already vanished, along with the Ariel girl. Well, that's it from chapters 1 through 4, end of part 1 of A Innocent Slur of Jeff the Killer love story. Bye guys, hope you like it. Of course, I just did a redo of this story so that if anyone ever got the chance to finish the whole story, I'm not sure, but I just figured I should do this so that we can get through the whole story, because I was just really interested in this story and I wanted to let you guys also hear the ending all through. So see you guys. Hope you like it, and see